Hey everybody, this is Julian, and I'm going to be talking about my thoughts with this Eagles-Buccaneers matchup we got coming up on Wild Card Weekend. Before we do, let me put on my hat so you can kind of guess which way I'm going to go with this matchup. Going with the Eagles, okay? I'm an Eagles fan. So anyway, this whole thing with Tom Brady, I just don't think this guy is nearly the invincible superstar that everybody's building him up to be. I mean, obviously he's a very good quarterback. He beat us last time. But let's try to put things into perspective here, okay? Obviously, we beat him in the Super Bowl, okay? We beat him the previous time we played him in 2015. Now, he has won 2 in a row after the Super Bowl. But, in fairness, neither game, in my opinion, was that great of a performance by Brady, okay? 2019, I guess, according to some supporters of a previous quarterback we had, it was a very windy game, or was that another one? I don't really remember the excuses. I can't keep track of them, but neither quarterback had a great game, I believe. Everyone blames Nelson Aguilar for not winning that game for the Eagles. I would say other stuff came into play. I don't have the play-by-play, blow-by-blow thing in front of me, but I seem to recall both quarterbacks being very bad all game long, and then we did have this game-ending drive that could have won if Nelson Aguilar had made that catch, rather, which is fair. But I would just say that wasn't Nelson Aguilar's fault entirely, because there's preceded by an entire game of poor quarterback play that could have won the game. But the point is, the fact that it even came down to this final play to begin with just kind of goes to show you that Brady himself was not playing that well in that game. And that's actually the game that Brandon Graham, we saw we saw him mic'd up on that game. And he was talking, he called Brady, he said he's not going to be Tom Brady today, he's going to be Tim Brady. And he called him fucking Tim, it's fucking Tim, which is, to me, a great Brandon Graham bit. I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, but I mean, he was right. I mean, he was not really that great in that game. They did get the win, however. Okay, then we also had this Tampa Bay. That's what they say, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers game earlier this season, which was they kind of caught the Eagles kind of. I would say maybe that game or the Raiders game that was also a really bad game. I mean, I was at the Raiders game, unfortunately. That was the one game I went to this season. Fortunately, I'm not going to this Bucs game, so I'm not going to have some bad juju on this game. But the Raiders game, which came after this Bucs game, the one earlier this year, both games are kind of a low point for the Eagles offense. The Eagles offense, I mean, we did have that Dallas Cowboys game with the 3 carries for the running backs, which was ridiculous. But just overall, like the beginning, I would say half at least of the game earlier in the season, from the offense perspective, was just a bunch of wide receiver screens, few zone read plays that all were terrible. They all got blown up. I mean, Tampa just knew it was coming, stopped kind of both options on it, and it just blew up the play from the beginning. So they really just kind of had solved Nick Sirianni's offense, and Nick Sirianni the offense just kept on getting worse and worse. I do think he actually kind of turned things around a little bit for the Raiders game, schematically. However, the game just went south. But you did start seeing some of the under center runs and play actions and that sort of thing, opening up the playbook a little bit more with the Raiders. Especially that first drive was actually pretty awesome against the Raiders. So I was happy to see that, at least live. Anyway, getting back to the point though, how was Brady in that game against us? Is he really this elite, invincible? He's elite as far as anybody can be elite. Okay, I'll give you that. But is he this invincible kind of folk hero everybody's building him up to be? In my opinion, no. Okay, he is not. He's not this kind of like unbeatable, invincible guy. All right, he's at this stage, I would say he's a pretty he's a limited player. I mean, he's obviously one of the top quarterbacks still, but he's limited. All right, he has a lot more errant throws than people really want to admit. I remember back in the season opener against the Cowboys, I remember he threw a terrible pass to Leonard Fournette that just happened to go for a first down, but this pass should have been picked. And he's got plenty of errant throws like that this season. I've seen that sometimes they are picked, sometimes they aren't. But the bottom line is he's not throwing darts like he used to. All right, especially when he's putting air under the throws, he's putting them at risk to be intercepted. And actually, he did have an interception when he played us earlier this season. So it's really not this kind of like crazy sort of how can we ever beat him type of thing going on here. All right, that's just not reality. All right, he threw a pick against us earlier this season. If you want to look at the weapons he had available at that time, he had Antonio Brown, he had Chris Godwin. Both of those guys not going to be available. Leonard Fournette looks like he's going to be available. And he actually did a lot of damage in that game. I would say I would be more afraid of Leonard Fournette having a good game against us than Tom Brady necessarily. Because I think when you have Leonard Fournette pushing the pile, gaining like 10 yards a carry like he was doing at the very beginning of the game, that's game over. Alex Singleton had a terrible game in that first matchup. So anyway, but there's not going to be Antonio Brown anymore, who I thought really did a lot for Brady in that first matchup. Okay, he took a lot of these errant passes, snatched them out of the air, turns upfield, and makes it look good on the box score. All right, and they're all in the moment. I mean, plenty of people understand that, yeah, Tom Brady, he's kind of off target here. But a lot of these people who get very emotional, they look at the box score, they look at the results, they get all freaked out about it, and they think Brady is just this unstoppable force. No, I don't think he is. And even if you are just going to look at the box score, remember he had an interception. Okay. I don't really think, as far as the passing game goes, let's start with the run. So Leonard Fournette's coming back. Obviously, they have a very good offensive line, both with run blocking and pass protection. Our defensive line has been playing better as of late. The linebackers have been playing better as of late. Hard exactly to say how much of that has to do with the opposing offenses we've faced. However, I will say we have faced some decent running attacks that have been kind of shut down. But I mean, I guess not. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I mean, Washington has had success running the ball. The Giants, not so much. Maybe we shut them down. So I don't know. I mean, it will be interesting to see what happens with that run game. I think that's the biggest concern, because if we do shut down the run game and make the offense one-dimensional, the Tampa Bay offense one-dimensional, I think we can make hay on Brady. I think he's kind of beatable. We can't play this passive zone stuff that I don't know why Gannon keeps going back to that well, because I don't remember it ever working. Now, sometimes it may have been working. I'm not reviewing the all 22 for all these plays. So sometimes it may have been working, and you see the defensive linemen get pressure immediately, and you're not really sure what the back end's playing. You just say, oh wow, he got pressure. And why don't we get pressure all the time? Well, sometimes it can just be a four-man rush and it gets pressure on a vanilla coverage. Okay, I don't really know. I'm not looking at the all 22 as diligently as a lot of these people are. Though I will also say, I don't think a lot of these people who claim they're watching the all 22 do watch it even. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting off on a crazy tangent right now. So let's refocus here. Tampa Bay. The run defense, we need to have much better way better run defense than we had in the first matchup. The pass defense, I think the biggest challenge in this game, because there's no Gronk, there's no Antonio Brown, there's no Chris Godwin. There is Gronk, and I think Gronk is going to be the biggest challenge. Mike Evans, he'll make plays here or there. I don't really think he's not the game-breaking receiver that he once was, in my opinion. Even at his peak form, he's kind of a hit or miss, sort of boom or bust type of guy. But I don't see him posing an enormous threat in this game. I mean, let's see it. They could prove me wrong, but I'm not really that scared of Mike Evans. I'm more scared of Gronk, especially with our personnel. I just don't think we really have the personnel to defend Gronk. Would it be great if we had Malcolm Jenkins still to cover Gronk? Unfortunately, Howie, we don't have that option. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge. I'd like to see a lot more man coverage mixed in, and not just late in the game. And if he's ripping us to shreds in the beginning of the game, I want to see immediate adjustments from Gannon. I do not want to see the halftime adjustment. I want to see the drive to adjustment. I want to see the third down adjustment. I want to see quick adjustments from Gannon, because give him credit, he does tend to adjust the past few games, but the adjustments are coming too late in the game, in my opinion, especially when you have an opponent like Tampa Bay. All right, so I want to see quick adjustments. I want to see a lot of defensive resources committed to stopping Gronk and stopping the run game. I think as far as Gronk, I'd be interested to see what Darius Slay could do against him and put a safety over top. I think, again, maybe you don't want to dedicate that many resources, but I definitely think this guy should be bracketed. I don't think they have enough weapons that you can't put two guys on him. Maybe not Slay, but I think maybe a corner and a safety could be good. I don't know about a linebacker. I don't think that would work. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that would work. So that's kind of my biggest thing. But remember, I just don't think Tom Brady is really the guy everybody's building him up to be. Okay, he's good. Well, we can stop him. Okay, and I think he's got some kind of thing in his head about the Eagles. Remember back in 2015 with Chip Kelly, who everybody underrates for whatever reason. Chip Kelly went into Foxborough, beat the Patriots and Tom Brady. And actually, in that game, Tom Brady, there was a trick play. Tom Brady catches a ball. Oh, my God. He catches a 40-yard reception down the field. Oh, my God. And then they lost the game. Oh, too bad. Okay. Then we had the Super Bowl. They tried it again, and they failed. It was a callback to 2015. How many of you Eagles fans know that this is a callback to a Chip Kelly win? I'm sure plenty of people do. But let's remember, Chip Kelly beat the Patriots in Foxborough, people. Anyway, the Patriots, for some reason, wanted to call back to that game, and it was an incomplete in the Super Bowl. Then Doug comes back. It was actually Nick Foles' play call. But Doug comes back, calls the Philly special. Nick Foles catches the touchdown pass. So that was just, that was amazing. That was just incredibly epic. Anyway, this is the kind of mind games that goes into Tom Brady. I already went into all the history with the 2019 game. So he has his wins, but I just think he has something weird with the NFC East. I just think he's got some weird thing in his head with the NFC East. How do you lose to the Giants? Period. How do you lose to the Giants at all? Right? And then how do you lose to the Giants in the Super Bowl? Twice. He lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl twice. This guy is just not let's calm down with all the Brady hype. And remember, the last time he hosted a playoff game in the wild card round, it ended with a pick six L. All right. So here's my prediction. I'm going to pick the Eagles to cover an adjusted 2.5 point spread as a favorite. All right. I'm adjusting the line to a 2.5 point favorite Eagles line. That's going to pay 4-1 odds, plus 400 odds. All right. That's going to be your best bet in this game. It's possible. It's obviously possible that it's not going to pay, but I like the value there. I think the odds it pays are going to be worth, I think they're more reasonable than what they're giving you. The odds that it will happen is more likely than what they're telling you, okay? And I like that high upside type of bet. So I'm going to take the Eagles minus 2.5 on an adjusted point spread to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay this Sunday afternoon. See ya, everybody.